it looks like the torpedoes can be launched manually with these switches. If there are 2 tubes, so there should be 1 more left. I guess the first thing we have to do is load it into the tube. When it comes to missiles, you can count on me. By the way,
I get it.
I keep forgetting to bring this up. Missile is a reference to that one obscure little, that little detail that was in the first Phoenix Wright game. Remember Missile the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Detective Gumshoe's dog.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. And then we have Missile here, who belongs to Detective Lynn. So, fun little fact there. Keep forgetting to bring it up. I'll enter the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo. And I just turned on the backup power. We ought to be able to use the switches now. Okay, let's try it. Good luck! The switch won't budge. Maybe it's broken? But I don't think the entire device is broken, though. It'd probably work just fine if I could only move this switch. We'll just have to find a way to move it somehow. But I can't do it with my powers alone. Yeah. If that wasn't... Oh, wait. Oh, I have to talk to... What will happen to these 2 ladies? I think that's up to us and our powers. What? This is no time to be standing around unsure of ourselves. Will you lend me your strength, Missile? Me? Of course I will. Count on it! I don't know why they bothered having us do that, but whatever. Switch.
Did it work?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
There we go. That torpedo looks serviceable. All set on this end, too. But something's odd. What is it? The command room, it looks like it's slowly sinking. Sinking? Yeah, like it's completely run out of power. I wonder what happened. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. Okay, hop into the missile. I'll launch it for you. Okay, thanks. I've already set the torpedo's course. It'll head toward the command room where Detective Jode is. 12 seconds after launching, it'll pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be your window of opportunity to jump over to the command room. Okay, got it. And then we'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. Just hold on until we get back. Okay, come on, Missile. Missile? I'm sorry, I can't go. What? I just can't. How could I leave? I can't leave Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla behind. I can't do it! Missile. I swapped the switches to the missile can be launched. You'll have to do the rest, Sissel. I can't do it either. I can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels. I want you to go, Missile. What? But Miss Lynn! You staying here won't change our fate. But if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen. And that's our only hope. But what if that something doesn't happen? I'll never be able to see you again. Never ever again! Even I can understand that. I couldn't stand that. Don't worry, Missile. Miss Camilla? I just know you and Sissy can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then. Don't worry. Miss Camilla! That's a good boy, Missile. Now, are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw the switch. We're ready. Sissel? Yes? We never found out who you really were. But that doesn't matter now. All I know is I'm truly glad I met you tonight. Thank you for everything. And I'm glad I met you, Detective. We're going to see each other again, right, Sissy? Right, Missile? That's right. We promise, little lady. Of course we will! I'll never forget you, no matter what happens. Here goes, then. Good luck, friend. Whew, okay. Dramatics out of the way. Time to save some lives.
Music's been really out there lately. I mean, that's a good thing, though.
Yeah. Either or. These 12 seconds are lasting an eternity. I strive to think of a way to save Lynn and the little lady the whole time. But how can a ray of light of hope reach this far down into the deep sea? Before I can think of an answer, 12 seconds are up.
Oh, they don't even let you try and actually make that jump?
Nah.
Disappointment! It's like, we could have gotten the bad ending.
The bad enemy, I'll just fucking die.
It's like, oh, oops.
Well. Detective Jode! I bet that big masked man did this. I'm going to bite him. You better not. You might break your teeth. The command room has lost power and is sinking. So I wonder what this masked man is going to do. Let's talk to Detective Jode. Sorry for the wait, Detective Jode. Who are you? Are you Sissel? Please excuse my appearance. I can't believe you made it here. How is Camilla? And what about Lynn? Well, it's kind of a long story. I told Detective Jode about everything that happened on the submarine Yanoa. So the submarine is badly damaged? Why would he do that to his own submarine? I wish I knew. I know the answer to that one. It's because they're afraid of my powers. You followed us? I didn't even notice. It's been 10 long years, Detective Jode. Are you Yomiel? So you remember me, do you? How could I possibly forget? So that's your real name, huh? Yomiel? That's right. But those people on the Yanoa were calling you Sissel. That's just an alias I was using for my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name, so all along, Sissel was just an alias. Could you do me a favor? Would you let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure, go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty we can still tell you, right, Detective Jode? Right. 10 years ago, you were a top systems engineer, weren't you? Systems engineer? What's that? By the way, I'm a top Pomeranian, you know. Well, it's kind of hard to explain to a dog, but it's a person who's good at using computers. I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the best in the industry. That's how I got roped into joining that project. Project? What project? It was a projectile aimed at a project aimed at reorganizing the nation's top secret information. The goal was to build a new system using multidimensional programming theory. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government. It doesn't sound like something a top Pomeranian would know anything about. To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. However, this project was also the target of a secret plot. I bet you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secrets might attract. I never thought for the life of me I'd have to deal with spies. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved in on this. And then one day, the name of a certain programmer emerged as a suspect. I was the guy who built the core of the system. The police arrested you, and then that incident happened. He escaped from the interrogation room and took little Lynn as a hostage. By the way, Detective Jode, when was it that I was proven innocent? About 6 months after your death. I'm sorry, Yomiel. 10 years ago. My soul was split from my body, and I lost everything. I was sealed in eternal darkness. I existed in this world, no question about that. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Not even the passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. I wanted to disappear. But I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Lynn described it is exactly right. Sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea. An overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair. And I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering. And so that's why you murdered Alma. That's right. I wanted you to know what it was like to lose everything you cared about. I wanted you to feel the same pain I felt. What? It was a twisted wish of the mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then, as I was plotting my revenge, I had an idea. I came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal. There's something I just don't understand about that deal. I'm sure your powers would be very valuable to them, but what would you get out of the deal? A new life. Life? I asked them for 2 conditions. Number 1 was that they help me with my revenge plot. And the second was a rebirth for me. Rebirth? A new beginning, eh? I didn't care if it was a fake life, an artificial life. I just wanted a physical
receptacle.
Thank you. For my soul. A name, an identity, an everyday life. I wanted to grow old in a society that would accept me. And finally, I wanted to die, surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I asked them for. A completely man-made life. That's right. I knew I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. That's why I decided to ask a national government to help me. And their response, in the end, was betrayal. They were making their moves much more carefully than I expected. They sent spies to this country and researched my powers on their own. And they even figured out what the Temzik was all about. And you had no idea they were doing all this. None at all. I was a fool. So then, why did they go to all the trouble of making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal the hunk of the Temzik meteor from the park? They couldn't. And here, this will answer your earlier question, Danny. Why was the meteor still there? Huh? After the manipulator incidents, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about a source of the manipulator's power. By Inspector Cabanella and the old pigeon guy, eh? At first, the government didn't believe the report. But then they decided to put the park under surveillance, just in case. Surveillance, huh? It just looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times. Don't tell me that odd leaflet guy is one of them. No, not him. He's just a plain old odd person. He's just some weirdo. The park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale. So that's why they couldn't steal the Temsic meteorite. And lately, under the pretense of building a housing site, they've been working on a plan to destroy that park in order to secure the Temsic meteorite. So that's it, eh? So the upshot of your grand deal was this, eh? Yeah, it's the ending I deserve. But at least there's one thing you must be happy about. What's that? You've managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever. Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bringing Detective Jode back to life, of course. What? What good will that do now? But we promised! We promised Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla we'd save them! We can't do that without you, Detective Jode. I've been guided by fate tonight to this place. I won't give up now. Alright, fine. Let's see where it leads us. Here we go then. Back to 4 minutes before your death. Here we go.
Insane.
It is a bit much to take in, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, where are we headed? We are not headed anywhere, Detective. What? There was only enough fuel on board to launch us away, Detective. We will run out soon, and that'll be our destination, Detective. What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here too! By the way, I am not human, Detective.
Well, aren't you funny?
I am a remote-controlled robot, Detective. What? Your country's use of technology. It's just plain off. We get that a lot, Detective. Think. Why would you go to all the trouble to do this? That's nothing but a shell there. It's hardly a threat to anyone. Commander Sith likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, Detective. Possibility? What are you talking about? There is no need for you to know, Detective. Because you're about to get fucked. Now it is time to say goodbye, Detective. In the end, your fate remains the same, it seems, Detective. Ugh. Camilla, forgive me. Nope. Machine gun seems a little overkill, but okay. It isn't over yet. It isn't? Remember what the big masked man said? Any possibility, no matter how small. Possibility? In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. a possibility of turning the situation around.
So let's try that again. Four minutes.
Huh? What is it, Detective? Look at Yomiel's shell. There's no aura emitting from its body. Of course there isn't. The Temsik fragment is gone. Could this change in his shell? Give us some lead? So, without wasting too much time, I'm going to go ahead and say there's no way to save Judd.
Huh?
We can't save him. However, we can save someone else by going back to someone else's 4 minutes before their death. I figured it out. I know what this possibility, no matter how small, is that they were afraid of! What is it? My time was perpetually stopped thanks to the power of Temsik. His body cycled between the moment that separated his life and death. Right, but not anymore. The Temsik fragment has been taken away. Exactly. So what does this mean? I get it! Your body won't come back to life anymore. The moment the Temsik fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. So, let's see. That means we can go back? Back to 4 minutes before your death? But, wait a minute. Exactly when is that death? That's simple. We'll find out when we get there! Let's move! Uh-oh. Whoa, whoa, clock! I fell back through the cracks of time for what seemed like forever, and then I saw it. The final death at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? I've already seen all the clues. All I have to do now is remember. The final journey to the truth starts now. No, it starts next time. We'll see you on...
Oh, don't do this! Don't do this!